Alright, this is kind of unconventional for the channel, but you know, I have to give it a go. Welcome to ultra-wide cam. Gives you a much wider view of my little nook here at home, because what we're unboxing today is, as you can see, a bit big. It is way bigger than my unboxing desk. To be fair, my unboxing desk is already a bit small, but you know, it's still a huge box. So hi, I'm Kevin Evangelista, welcome to my channel, and we're going to be unboxing the AORUS FO32U2P, which is, as some of you may know, one of the world's first, or probably the world's first, 4K 240Hz OLED monitors that doesn't have display stream compression. Wild. It is pretty wild. Anyways, this video is brought to you by Sethan Tech. The devices that you're going to see in this video are confirmed to be available from their store. So if you're in the Philippines and want to purchase these products, hit them up. They've got great prices, are quick to reply, constantly update their page with great deals, and accept a wide range of payment options, even via crypto. I've put the link down in the video description, so head on over to their page to check out the latest listings and let them know I sent you. That's it, back to the video. Okay, we're back from sponsor spot. Anyways, this is the AORUS FO32U2P. Let's get to unboxing this thing. So yeah, as some of you may know, Gigabyte is a recent collaborator on the channel. Mostly just made the connection, oh, we've met, so can you send me products for like features and stuff? And Sir Martin, fortunately, he's very keen in working with me. So yeah, I'm very thankful for that. Thank you very much for sending this in. Anyways, first we have the base of the stand. Look at that B-cam. It just screws in with a toolless screw here at the bottom. We have an ultra certified cable, HDMI ultra high speed. So this is an HDMI 2.1 because this monitor has HDMI 2.1 ports. We have a USB-B to USB Type-A. This is most probably for KVM feature. We have, oh, this is a nice one. This is the kind of like a pièce de résistance. This is, as you can see here, there's kind of like a little tape there. It says DP80. This is the 80 gigabit cable, which will run Displayport 2.1 without any DSC. So it's full quality in 4K 240Hz going from your compatible device to the monitor. I say compatible because it's kind of awkward that I keep telling you guys about the lack of DSC on this, but to tell you the absolute truth, I have no compatible device to run this. But to be fair, I have a lot of high-powered devices here. So this is a Zephyrus Duo 16. That is a Zephyrus G16. I even have the ROG Ally with the XG Mobile 3080 version. And none of them have DisplayPort 2.1. Even my desktop PC doesn't have DisplayPort 2.1. So I have no way to give this a non-compressed signal. But we'll try our best. This looks like a pretty short cable. We have a USB-C to USB-C. This also supports 65 watt charging through its USB-C upstream and downstream port. We have another HDMI cable. We have a power cable, which looks to be kind of like an EU connector. We're not going to be using this. Some of you may know I live in the Philippines. We have the appropriate power cable with ground. I think that's a C13. I think that's the correct nomenclature for it. Then we have the power brick for the monitor. It's a 280 watt power brick for a monitor. 280 watts might sound a lot, especially in the context of laptops. You know, the highest I have is kind of like a 300 watt. In the context of a monitor, that is really a lot of power. Anyways, we have here the manual, the warranty card, and that's everything. We're going to be removing this. Excuse me, Mike. And I'm back. And we have the monitor itself. We have the stand. It is kind of like a regular, like, tension height stand. Yeah, nothing special about it. There is a little wobbly piece here. It's kind of like a cable management thing. So to connect this, we just have to slide in the feet Then screw this down. This is kind of like the recommended way to do things. While the monitor is still in the styrofoam kind of like packaging, you just assemble the base here. Connect it by sliding it up from the down position, then locking it in place like that, then lifting it up. And hopefully it doesn't catch on something. Yeah, there we go. We really should like move to a bigger place so I can do bigger unboxings like this. The last time I unboxed something like this was a super ultra wide monitor, and I didn't even do it live like this. I'm not holding it with any kind of like force or weight on this. I was just guiding it. Everything was being carried by my right hand. Unplasticking time. There we go. There's the AORUS FO32U2P. Excuse me again. It is a very beautiful monitor, as you can see. I'll probably move it down a bit so I can fit it into frame. Okay, for ports, starting from the top, we have the DC in. We have two USB 3.2 ports, super speed. We have a USB B. This is upstream. This is for the KVM feature. We have separate 3.5mm audio ports for the headphones and the mic. We have the Type-C upstream and downstream. So this can take, this is kind of like a display in if you want to connect your phone or your laptop or handheld gaming device. And it can also charge that device to 65 watts, up to 65 watts. If you would look here, it looks to be like the monitor has two Displayport, full-size Displayport ports. The one on the right is the Displayport in, that is the Displayport 2.1 in. Then on the left is a Displayport out. So that's for daisy chaining monitors. So if you have multiple monitors that you want to daisy chain together through Displayport, you can do that. But if you go to the website, it says that it supports two Displayport 2.1 ports. That is because this one, the full-size Displayport 2.1, is the first one. And the second one is this mini Displayport. This is also Displayport 2.1. Hence the short Displayport cable, which had the DP80 sticker. Then we have two HDMI 2.1s. Pretty loaded. Just to start out, we're going to have to see if we are running the correct settings. So we are currently at 3840 by 2160. I haven't turned HDR on yet because I find that if you turn HDR on, a lot of the OSD settings are not available. So yeah. And when we check advanced display, this is running at 240 Hz. So yeah, this is running at 4K 240 Hz, but please do keep in mind that this is running off of an HDMI 2.1. So it has display stream compression. But if you do have a device that has DisplayPort 2.1, not HDMI 2.1, DisplayPort 2.1, you can run this, and if you go into either the AMD Radeon settings or NVIDIA control panel, you can turn DSC off. And yeah, you're going to have an uncompressed display, uncompressed image on the display. There we go. That is a beautiful display. There is one thing, if there is one thing that I really love about OLED displays, is that they show up really well in camera. I don't know if you guys are ever going to like think about this when you do go out and see this in person at stores, but try to look at it from like a very close angle like this. It looks like paper. It looks like backlit paper. It's so lifelike to see. Let's check out the OSD. So pressing on the nipple, we have 4 options: setting, game assist, power off, and OLED care. So we're going to go to settings first, and we have the gaming settings. So we have black equalizer 2.0. If we check this out, oh, it's kind of like adjusting the black level of the monitor. All right, okay. Apparently, you can set it up as high as 15, then 0 is the lowest setting. Then we have super resolution, which I assume is just a sharpening filter. Yes, it is a sharpening filter. We'll probably leave it at 0, looks too blurry. probably set it to 1 or 2. Yeah. Do you remember the kind of like paper effect that I've been telling you about? If you set it to 4, it really highlights the paper effect. It looks like the screen is printed on there. So, and that's too much sharpening. So I'm gonna set it to 1. Display mode, we have full aspect. We have here different aspect ratios for display. Okay, sure. Then we have FreeSync Premium Pro, which is currently disabled. I'm probably not going to enable this because I am running on an NVIDIA GPU. For picture, we have standard, FPS, MOBA, RPG. RPG looks good. Racing, racing looks very blue. Movie is a bit darker. Reader, which is very yellow and dark. sRGB, I love this option. Probably going to use it all of the time. sRGB, custom, and eco. So if you want to customize any of these profiles, you can go inside and you can change the brightness, contrast, 6-axis color. There is a 6-axis color control, but I assume that is kind of reserved for Displayport. Color vibrance, sharpness, gamma, color temperature, color space, and a button to reset everything. You can set the color space to like Display P3 or native or Adobe. This is pretty good. Then we can move on over to display. We can check our input here. Access our KVM switch. There's a dedicated KVM button here. You can press it. It's on the left side of the nipple navigation button. So the right side is the resolution switch. You can access the daisy chain option if it's on or off. The RGB range, which is currently set to 0 to 255, which makes sense because we are running sRGB. And we have apply picture mode. Yeah. Then we have a picture-in-picture or picture-by-picture setting. Anyways, we have system settings. We have language, audio. Audio, I am not sure if you can see here, but there is an option for an ESS headset and a 600R option here, but it's grayed out because we don't have anything plugged in to the 3.5mm audio jacks. But yeah, ESS headset is for headset audio and 600R is for volume. 600R will boost the volume. So yeah, then we have audio mode, which is standard, gaming, FPS, and movie, which is pretty cool. You don't usually see that in monitors, even in the high-end ones. We have OSD settings, we have quick switch, and other settings like resolution notice, input auto switch, auto power off, the LED indicator, very useful. RGB LED, there is some RGB LED at the back of this at the top. Type-C compatibility, multiple compatibility modes for Type-C. If you are connecting a handheld device or a phone or anything, if it uses power, it maximizes compatibility for those kinds of things. HDMI version 2.1, so you can toggle between 2.0 and 2.1 for the HDMI version. For the DisplayPort version, you can also toggle between 2.1 and 1.4. USB 3.2 support, HDMI CEC, very useful if you are running a console, but then again, if you are using a monitor like this connected to a console, like, why? No, I'm joking. I don't want to smoke from from those console peasants. Anyway, and then you have a button to reset all. Then if you look at quick settings again, if you move it to the right, you can go into Game Assist, which is Game Info. Yeah, these are just like little gaming features like crosshair or a tactical switch. That tactical switch is a resolution switch for the monitor. I'm going to show it to you in a bit. Then we have Eagle Eye, dashboard, display alignment. But yeah, these are very given things. Then we have OLED care. I love OLED care on monitors like this because it extends the panel life for the display. Status is usage time 26 hours. Pixel clean completed count 9. And yeah, a lot of features here for OLED care. Please look into it. If you buy this monitor, please look into it. and make sure that you're doing the correct things to take care of your OLED screen. I do not own an OLED screen yet for like my home setup. I am still running, this is IPS. The super ultra wide behind me is an IPS screen. Then I have another IPS screen, which is kind of like my secondary like gaming handheld monitor and laptop monitor. Then I have a TN panel, the standing curved one. That is still a TN panel. If you do have an OLED, please look into the correct OLED care settings for your OLED screen. The burn-in is a really bad thing, especially when you have things like this. The Windows like taskbar, that's a big no-no for OLED panels, because burn-in of the taskbar is really common in especially Generation 1 OLEDs. We move on over to the gaming section, or gaming section of this video. On the button on the right, if you press it, it's going to do the tactical switch. It's the tactical switch. And it's going to change the resolution of the monitor and the size of the monitor to 1080p. Yeah, it's still going to be 240 Hz, but it's going to shut off all of these pixels right here and just give you a 1080p monitor here at the bottom middle of your AORUS FO32U2P. So these are for kind of like hardcore gamers. If you want a 24-inch OLED 240 Hz monitor, you have it. It's basically going to shut off everything at the side so you can enjoy your esports titles in 24-inch size. Then if you're going to play something else, you're like me, you're going to play Fallout or you're going to play Forza, you can just press the tactical switch again and it's going to give back your 32-inch 4K OLED 240 Hz screen. So if I press it again, it's going to go back to being 4K 32 inches. It takes a bit of time though. Yeah. If you are interested in this feature, please remember to do your tactical switch before you run your game, because I've been testing this before I shot this video and it just freaks the game out if you suddenly switch from 4K to 1080p while in the middle of a game. So it just freaks out. So yeah, I've taken you through a physical tour of the monitor. I've shown you the quality of the display. I have shown you the OSD. One last thing to do. Play a game. As you can see, we are in Forza Horizon 5 and we are in maximum graphics settings. We're going to use my 512 Testarossa. Yeah, look at that. What a beautiful car. A testament to the viewing angles on this monitor. I can still see it pretty clearly from this angle. I mean, it looks beautiful. It looks really vibrant. We do have HDR on. If it doesn't look too bright, do remember that we are in sRGB mode. We are looking at a 4K 240 Hz OLED image with HDR on, and it looks just beautiful. Go up the ramp here. Look at that. A very capable display. One thing that I would like to talk about, and I did mention it before, I was testing this even before I shot this unboxing video because I wanted to make sure that all of the stuff worked and I know how to explain it to you guys. And one big question that I had going into testing it was which one of the Displayport 2.1 inputs supported DC chaining. So if you would remember, there are two full-size DisplayPort ports at the back of this, and they are not both in. One is for DC chaining to another monitor. So the first thing I tested it out on was the DisplayPort 80 cable. So it was the DisplayPort to the mini DisplayPort in to the back of the monitor. So yeah, it DC chained just fine. I connected the DC chained monitor was a 144 Hz 1080p monitor. So yeah, I connected the DisplayPort out to my device, which had Displayport 1.4. Then I connected the mini Displayport to the back of the monitor. Then I connected the Displayport out. Then connected the Displayport, the other end of that Displayport connector to the DC chained monitor. And this was able to run at 240 Hz, and the connected monitor was able to run at 144 Hz. It's all well and good. But I also wanted to test it out on Displayport 1.4 in on this and Displayport 1.4 to the DC chained monitor. And I wanted to see if it will still run this at 240 Hz and the other monitor at 144 Hz. Apparently, it cannot do that. It can probably do that if it was a Displayport 2.1 going into this, and even just a Displayport 1.4 from this to the other monitor. Because what happened is this one was doing 4K 240 Hz, and the other monitor can only run at a maximum of 90 Hz. I don't know if it's fully a limitation of Displayport 1.4 not carrying enough bandwidth from the display going into this and passing it on to the next monitor, or if it's a limitation of the display. But I am kind of pretty sure that it is a limitation of Displayport. I am pretty sure because another test I did was I ran this at half refresh rate. So I was running it at 120 Hz, and it was able to run the DC chained monitor at 120 Hz. Still not at 144 Hz. Yeah, I think it's a Displayport bandwidth issue. I just don't have any device to run this on, to run this monitor on at its full capability. Anyways, that's the AORUS FO32U2P. It's an amazing monitor. I am very happy I got to test it out here. Thank you very much to AORUS. Also, I am going to put the price here. This is not a full review. This is just a feature video. I am not equipped to review this monitor since I cannot run it at its full capability. But yeah, thank you very much, AORUS, for sending this in. It was an absolute blast to experience. I think I got it for like 3 weeks or a month. Sorry, Sir Martin. I know it's supposed to be just 2 weeks, but no. I am very slow at production because sometimes my day job gets in the way. That's just life, I guess. But anyways, if you have any question about this monitor, leave them down in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. While you're there, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps out a lot. That's it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.